Good morning and happy May 1st. Today is May Day. I was challenged to do a few words in regards to May Day, union workers, workers' rights, and this is what I've come up with in support and in solidarity of my union brothers and sisters that are on the front lines dealing with this pandemic. Uh, my brothers and sisters that are workers that are not in a union, that are being forced to work for fear of their families being affected by COVID 19. And I wanted to share with you some words of anxiety and comfort. Um, so, this is what I've come to share. Um, my name is Shatriya Smith, and I am a poet here in Springfield, Illinois, and I support my community. I work for the Garvey Tubman Cultural Arts and Research Center as the executive director. In addition, working for the District 186 as an aide and Hope Institute for Children and Families as an aide. Here's our support. When all the workers came together and stood in unison for safety, leadership, and accountability, movements happen. There is a magnanimous reason we have workers' rights today because workers have demanded it. Let's look at where we are. In history, that has proven that workers, if not ready to stand together, will squander waiting for justice. United workers are strong. May Day is a public broadcast brought to you by the workers who have died and fought for freedoms that you currently receive. Also, to Mother Jones, who quoted that we should mourn for the dead and fight like hell for the living. The Washington Post today published that the U.S. plans to lend $5 billion to large corporations, but won't require them to preserve jobs or limit executive pay. This is why May Day exists. I'm going to share a poem with you that shows my anxiety and my hope for our community. And just like every community in our nation that is struggling to achieve support, action, safety, leadership, and accountability from our employers and our government, this is called slow burn. Be patient with me, please. All right. I do too. Try to make myself more comfortable living in this new bubble. Forced optimistic views, not recognizing cues, privileged on dues with tainted and reckless debuts, underestimating the reality, aiming at the sprint, keeping time on a line that's completely irrelevant. Like the voice and the sheep of yore, triumphantly galloping to at the top of a cliff, I can see that those sheep are we will stand with strength. I hope as you do that I am wrong and all the while preparing for the long. Trepidatiously watching everything, the stress of the unknowing, the death count ever growing, the fear of illness for loved ones, strangers, and myself, the nothing I can do about it, the what can I do, the poem. Things are happening as they have before, embedded in our structural core. Under the surface, why does it seem so clear to me? I look beyond and see we are repeating history. This ghetto ride of destiny, this time will surely live in infamy. With as the Stockholm shows, it grows. Let me pose you what I cleverly feel. This here, right here, is about to get real. This road is not mine but circumstance, with attempts to obfuscate a disastrous plan, forcing a cue to the story's end, setting the tone of the first intent. One so grand that it will make morals bend, toasting to the greatness in the time of strife, repeated tortured decisions of a post colonial life, toasting to the greatness in the time of strife, again epitomizing recklessness of our human life. Supporting incoherence leads me to ascertain that we will be the watchers of history's remains. So, as an interlude, while I was writing this, other words came to mind and it begged my attention. Part 3. Premature ejaculation or reintegration during a pandemic tout, unsupported, undeveloped hypothesis with flaws and multiple doubts. Algorithmic equations of pandemic proportion, unbeknownst to the double exponent functions. The lack of understanding, poking at the wild, minuscule and ridiculed, the unkept child. Owners put workers to work, just as in the Spanish flu. The story's old and seldom told exactly how they do. Workers work and workers die, less money to have to split the pie. Let them eat Clorox is the new cake, watching how the same mistakes are made. Have we learned from our story's past as we look upon it from a looking glass? I can only imagine what the future holds by the end of every story told. We will come through this, of this I'm sure, never to the depth of what we will actually endure. Hold tightly, and I tell you now with certainty, my spirit is soaking with love and courtesy. The leaves I see pass a nasty fate, the likes of which will test our faith. Still stay on the path and make it work. For our land of Lincoln, she knows her worth. Thank you for listening to this poem. Thank you for supporting workers. Thank you for supporting essential workers and people that are staying at home to safeguard our lives, to safeguard our parents and our grandparents and our children. I pray that you're okay. I pray that your mental support is strong. And I beg you, think of a worker today. It's Mayday.